Swarthmore professors are great, but what I really loved was the other students. There are a lot of very brilliant people here, and it's been a real pleasure to get to know everyone and learn from them all. There's no way I could have gotten the grades I got if I hadn't been able to work with my roommate on problems. Whenever we got to a problem set that one of us couldn't understand, we would work things out until we both got it all. My grades sure took a turn for the worse when he blew himself up senior year. He was working on a perpetual motion machine, and he actually got it to work, but he couldn't figure out how to stop it or slow it down. Well, when it blew, it took out the entire science building. We were finding bits of concrete and metal and flesh for weeks afterwards in the rubble. We found his notes after the explosion. It looked like he knew it was going to happen, but he turned on the machine anyway. That happens sometimes. Our science departments actually have one of the highest casualty rates in the nation.
For me, Swarthmore was about heightened political consciousness. When I first arrived at SWAT, I was pretty much a typical uninformed, naive liberal. I voted for Ralph Nader, not realizing that by simply voting I was implicitly endorsing the bourgeois slave mentality of the democratic state. Then I spent some time with the Swarthmore Neo-Stalinist Youth Congress, and they really opened my eyes up to the way the world really works. Through them and through my advisor in the political science department, I managed to learn about the reforms taking place in the countryside in Antigua. I spent one semester abroad in Antigua, helping the Antiguan Popular Front spread their message of political awareness. It's a big job. The peasants are still bound up by antiquated notions of work, self, and family, which are quite counterproductive. We've got a lot of work to do before we can break down those bonds of enslavement and open their minds to a new, more liberated mindset. Still, even though it's difficult, it's incredibly rewarding work. And the political science department at Swarthmore was really good about giving me course credit for it, even though I didn't do anything that could really be considered classroom learning. They even helped connect me with certain humanitarian organizations interested in developing connections with the Popular Front. There's a lot of people out there who think they're devoted to some political ideal. But when the time comes to impose their ideas on others, they're too timid. They can't carry through the process to its logical conclusion. At Swarthmore, I learned that real political activism is not about thoughts or ideas, but about action. I think I've done my part in Antigua. Now it's time to put the things I learned there to work in America.
This piece was written for Harper's Magazine in reply to the question, when did you stop wanting to be president? When did I stop wanting to be president? At birth, certainly, and perhaps before.
I had a couple of girlfriends in high school. It was nothing too serious, just your standard post-adolescent, sex on your parents' bed kind of thing. But when I got to Swarthmore, I learned how to truly love a woman. I learned that it's the post-biological processes that are the most important part of, well, any relationship. I mean, it makes no sense to go to bed with a woman unless you're having sex with her mind.
Sheila is an angel. She is a white angel who does not know any dirty. Sheila is a messenger from God. When Sheila cries, the whole world is sad and doesn't know what to do. When Sheila is happy, all the flowers and the bees come forth and spring is throughout the land. Sheila is the leader and the savior of this world. Sheila, God bless you.
Hey Arbor, how's it going?
Sheila, is it really you?
Of course it's me, silly. I live right next door. Who else would it be?
people usually refer to Swarthmore as a metaphor of a Quaker matchbox. You know, you come here, you find your true love, you get married, you live happily ever after. I don't really buy that. I sort of see it as a sort of erotic junkyard. You come here and your notions of sexuality and gender and family, they're all pretty much smashed up to bits. After that, you can't really function normally, but everyone knows you still have a few valuable parts.
The funny thing, not ha-ha funny, the other kind, is that we all used to be pretty decent people. When I got here, I was a pretty good guy. I had friends. They were pretty good guys. Sure, we saw there were a lot of weird people around, but we knew that we'd never turn out like that. They were just freaks, that's all. We were the normal ones. We all swore that we would never let this place hurt us. But it's just that, after a certain point, you find yourself changing in ways that are monstrous. Spiritually, mentally, physically, you have no control over it after a certain point. Before long, I won't even know there's anything wrong with me. And that's the real meaning of Swarthmore.
Create a new outgrowth of the human brain, human brain, human brain, human brain, human brain.